All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Okay, guys, kind of a slow day today. We did have Jerome Powell speaking in front of Congress today, answering some questions, but not much happened. Really, we've just been kind of ranging in this ascending channel all day long. We can go ahead and turn on that ascending channel, just kind of trading within this ascending channel here all day. Nothing too much has happened. We just hit into the top of the channel. We might see a little bit of a rejection from this channel, but we do still have our resistance that's just above us that I talked about yesterday. And this resistance is the resistance I'm interested in Bitcoin possibly seeing a bit of a rejection from, kind of continuing a grind up in order to hit this resistance. If you guys watched yesterday's video, that resistance, let's go ahead and zoom out on the 4-hour chart, is going to be a swing failure pattern of our internal highs into a daily level. It's also our macro value area high. So if I come in on our 7-month range, 6-month range, you can see our macro value area high is there, as well as a golden pocket from the all-time high down to our correction lows here. And so this is the area looking for Bitcoin to continue to grind up to there. If we do see that swing failure pattern into that level, we could look for a bit of a rejection from this area. But also one other level I want to talk about. If we look at this push up that we've seen the last couple days here, yesterday I did talk about how most of this push up from yesterday's low has been a short squeeze. And if we did not see some new money stepping into the markets, then we could see us drop right back down. Well, we are seeing some bullish absorption happen right now on the charts. We are seeing people throughout the day constantly shorting the price of Bitcoin. We know a majority of those positions are new shorts by our open interest increasing here, yet Bitcoin fails to make lower lows in the price action. So it is making higher lows in the price action. And this is on aggregated open interest, but with our aggregated open interest, we are seeing bullish absorption happen here at our anchored VWAP and lower high golden pocket resistance. This is telling me that Bitcoin wants to continue pushing higher here. Just even if it's just a little bit higher, we are looking like we want to continue pushing just a little bit higher. Let's go back to this chart, and I'm going to zoom in onto the hourly chart, and I want to talk about this as an impulse. So from our lows, we know we hit into a very key pitchfork midline support level. That is going to be this pitchfork midline of our big pitchfork that we've been following for, 9 months now or so. So if we look at and then we also made a higher low yesterday hitting into the golden pocket, which if this is an impulse, your wave one, your wave two oftentimes retraces to the golden pocket. Our wave three could be pushing us all this price action up into this resistance area just above us. And what would be the target for that wave three? Well, if we take our trend-based Fibonacci extinction and we go from the lows of wave one to the highs of wave one to the lows of wave two, and we turn on that 1.618 target, you can see that 1.618 target is coming in right in our box of resistance. So maybe this grind in this ascending channel continues up just a little bit further. We hit that 1.618, completing our wave three of the impulse, see a bit of a correction from this area, find to our wave four, and then we hit one more high in a wave five, seeing this impulse to the upside complete. And then we could look for maybe a bigger retracement down to our golden pocket, wherever that's going to be. We'll go ahead and look at that as this develops, but this is a scenario that I'm watching on the charts right now. Once we hit into that 1.618 or anywhere within this box of resistance and we do reject, then we could pull our targets for a wave four where we would look for our targets to the downside, and that could be a potential adding on to your long position. I am looking to take some profits in this purple box depending on how our market cipher, our oscillators look here on the charts. So right now you can see on the charts we are developing some bear divs, so lower highs in the momentum waves, but your money flow looks pretty good, and that money flow will always overpower a single drive bear div. NAMI is also showing those bear divs right now, but we did print a hidden bull div signal earlier today coming into kind of the lows of today. So it is looking pretty mixed here, but overall, the bullish momentum is continuing. If we zoom out to the 2-hour chart, no real bear divs here. We are seeing some bear divs on NAMI, but your money flow is still rising on NAMI. And on Market Cipher B, your money flow still looks pretty good here. If we zoom out to the 4-hour chart, you can see money flow crossing over into the green on Market Cipher B. And if we do pierce this high, there is a potential we could form 4-hour bear divs, but we need to pierce that high first. Coming up into our purple box, maybe hitting that 1.618, we would be having higher highs in the price action and potential lower highs in the momentum waves. NAMI is not showing any bear divs on the 4-hour, and money flow looks strong. So all signs now are that Bitcoin is going to continue up, especially with the bullish absorption that we are seeing happen on the aggregated open interest on the charts right now. I do think Bitcoin is going to at least continue up just a little bit higher to our more macro golden pocket around 107K. Let's go ahead and zoom into the 15-minute chart. On the 15-minute chart, you can see we are developing some bear divs, and this is a good sign because if we continue to grind up slowly into this purple box, we would be seeing multiple drives of bear div on lower time frames, which maybe would give us enough to see that bit of a rejection. So you can see throughout the day, we've been making higher highs on the price action. And from the start of this ascending channel that we are seeing, you can see lower highs in the momentum waves, and our money flow is also making lower highs. So really good sign that we are starting to develop some lower time frame bear divs, not really any higher time frame or intermediate time frame bear divs, but we could see a possible rejection just above us. The bullish absorption that is happening on the charts is a bit concerning if you want to see a rejection from that box, because this bullish absorption could really give us some fuel to squeeze us up to even 109K. So let me go back to the Coinbase chart and we'll talk about that next level of resistance. If we do break this area here, this purple box just above us, and do not see a rejection from that area, let's turn on our parallel channel, not that guy, this bigger guy, and this is the parallel channel of the entire downtrend that we've been seeing from the all-time high to our 886 tap lower high down to our range lows before we broke them just last weekend. And let's zoom out a bit to make this look a little easier. Let me go ahead and hide that golden pocket. Okay, and so if we take that same Fibonacci pull from the all-time high down to our correction lows and we turn on our 786, you can see that that 786 is coming in right around 109K. Now, at 109K, we do have another very, very key liquidity grab, internal liquidity grab here. So we have an SFP into the liquidity grab, and we have the top of that channel coming in just above that. So this could be a very, very nice area. If we can break this box, we can maybe grind our way, hitting into this box here, hitting into the top of the channel, see another rejection from the top of the channel. We bounce from the bottom of the channel. We've reclaimed the midline. So maybe we come all the way to the top of the channel, reject from the top of the channel, and then continue to push back down, completing your 5-wave structure. And then we could look for support levels. We'll pull fibs and look at confluences of support once that happens, if that happens. But that's really all that I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Very, very slow day today for Bitcoin. Very low volume day that happened. So let's go on to the Model 2 heat map. This is just going to be for the last 24 hours of price action. You can see we do have some liquidity on both sides. We do have that liquidity coming up into that 107K area of resistance. And then, of course, below us, we are building some liquidity down to about 103, 103.6, 103.5K. And that is pretty much going to be, I guess that's kind of farther down than I'm looking. But yeah, we do have some liquidity down below as well. So in the Discord today, I did do a Discord stream. I talked about an area of interest that I'm looking for support to come in is this channel midline, because we bounce from the bottom of the channel. If we do reject from this purple box, we could expect us to drop to come down to not only the channel midline, but you can also see it's our pitchfork band of support that we broke to the upside. And then also, if we do pull a Fibonacci of our potential wave 4, so if we're going to pull the from the lows of 3 to the highs of 3. Now the highs are not in yet, we do not know, but let's say we reject from that 1.618 that was right at 107k, and then we go ahead and turn on our wave 4 targets. You can see our wave 4 targets are between the 0.382 and the 0.5, and that 0.382 would be aligning very, very nicely with our channel midline and with our pitchfork band of support at 104.200, 104.250-ish. That is an area of support I would be looking to potentially take a scalp long on, or to add to my long position to bring up to higher levels. We would also be grabbing our range liquidity of today. You can see this low at 104.681. We would be sweeping all the liquidity that has been building in this ascending channel that we've been seeing throughout the day, all this liquidity that has been building. So that is the area of potential interest to look for a scalp long. If we do not see bullish divs or even bullish absorption coming into that area, I will not look for a long from there. I will just let it continue to drop to the downside. We do have the 0.5 that's around the bottom of the band, and that is another area where we could bounce, because your target for a wave 4 is between the 0.382 and the 0.5, which happens to align with our pitchfork band levels. But that's about it for Bitcoin, guys. Not too much else to talk about. Let's go ahead quickly here and go on to Ethereum. Ethereum is at a resistance level right now. Let's zoom out to the 4-hour chart. So Ethereum had been trading in this range for about 7 weeks. And you can see that we also have some key pitchfork levels here. We rejected multiple times from that pitchfork band, was able to get above it, deviate it, but then once we lost it, we kind of dropped. And on Ethereum, we did drop to our anchored VWAP. Let's go back here. Our anchored VWAP from the lows of the impulse up. You can see this anchored VWAP all the way down from like 1400. We are bouncing on the daily time frame. Let's go zoom out to the daily time frame. It'll give us a good look of what's happening here. Let me go ahead and hide some of this stuff on the charts, because there we go. Okay, and let's take this, sign this. Okay, so on our bigger push to the upside on Ethereum, we pushed above our anchored VWAP from our cycle highs up here around 4,100. And you can see on the daily time frame, we were holding that anchored VWAP as support for multiple attempts. Yes, we got wicks down below it, but no real candle closes down below it. And the one time we did get a candle close down below it, the very next day we pushed up to new highs. So it had been holding very nicely until we lost it over the weekend. When we lost it, we flushed immediately down because there was no structure, no support here. So quick move up means quick move down. We flushed down and we hit into our anchored VWAP from the lows, and we bounced. Now, we did have a pretty big wick past that anchored VWAP. Well, where did that wick stop? If we take a trend base, a Fibonacci pull from the lows of the last range that we had on Ethereum to our highs, we turn on that golden pocket. You can see we did bounce from the golden pocket from our last lows to our highs. So Ethereum is still maintaining bullish market structure, and we are holding the anchored VWAP from the lows now that we've lost the anchored VWAP from the highs. But Ethereum has not been able to reclaim the value area of this range yet. So let's go ahead and come back on the charts. Let's turn that range back on. And Ethereum is at resistance. Let's zoom back in. Let's do the 2-hour chart here. And if we look at this range that broke down, you can see I ended this range where we broke down from that range, just right here where we broke down. You can see, first of all, the anchored VWAP that was acting as support on the daily time frame for so many days, for weeks, for about 6 weeks, is now acting as resistance. The pitchfork band that was acting as resistance multiple times at the upper part of the band Well, we lost the lower part of the band, and now it's going to be acting as resistance in perfect confluence with our anchored VWAP. But also, we do have the value area low of the range that we lost, our 6-week long range that we lost. The value area low, and now that we broke the value area to the downside, we are coming up for a bearish backtest of that value area. If we do reject here and start to roll over, it is going to confirm a rejection from that value area, and then we can continue pushing down, maybe even making new lows. So we are, and then of course it is also a golden pocket. If we do a golden pocket from our last time we rejected from the value area high after re-entering the volume profile, you can see we made new highs, re-entered the volume profile, fell all the way to the value area low, bounced from value area low, came up to value area high. Once we rejected that value area high, we came down and broke that volume profile. So you can see the golden pocket is also in confluence. So this is a very, very strong resistance level for Ethereum. And if Ethereum is going to reject and continue to push down, this is the area you would expect Ethereum to reject from. So we do have resistance. If we can get back inside this volume profile, we could pump up all the way to our next level. So that's the resistance that we're at now. If we can get back above the volume profile, we can push up to this box. Now, I know this box is a pretty big box of resistance, but it is just going to be our golden pocket from the highs of this range to the lows that was created. You can see that golden pocket is coming in right on top of the upper band. Once again, that upper band has rejected us many, many times. So if we do come up there again, it could reject us again. But I extended the box just a little bit further because we do have that value area high that's just above. So this purple box is our golden pocket, our pitchfork band, the upper part of the pitchfork band, and our value area high. And it is also our 786 of that smaller Fibonacci pole. A little bit lower, actually. So, but that's the next area of resistance. If we can break above 2482, then I think we can shoot up to about 2611 to 2587. That is what I'm looking at. Now, if we do reject on Ethereum, if we reject where we're at now and start to roll over, there is a potential we could make new lows. So what would we be looking at as a potential support level? Well, you can see with this bearish pitchfork that we have, first off, that same golden pocket that we bounced from earlier today that I just showed you, not earlier today, yesterday, from our range lows, our last prior range lows to our highs, if we turn on that same golden pocket and we look at our 786, because if we lose the golden pocket, the next fib level to look at is the 786. You can see that 786 is coming in right around 1970. We also can pull a golden pocket from the lows of the impulse to the highs of the impulse. You can see that golden pocket is coming in right around 1955 to 1907, but it's also our pitchfork midline. And we do know, as far as pitchfork trading goes, we bounced from the bottom of the pitchfork, had a small rejection from the lower band, but held the macro point of control, busted above the lower band, back tested it as support, shot up through that midline without back testing it. We have not come down to back test it yet. And then we came up to the upper band, tried to fight the upper band, rejected, and lost the upper band. So now, after losing the upper band, if we come up for the bearish backtest and reject where we're at now, we might expect to continue to roll down to backtest that pitchfork midline that was never backtested. Similar, by the way, to what Bitcoin just did today, just did over the last 6 weeks here. You can see we came up to the upper band, we rejected, we made a lower high on the bearish backtest, rejected, so we ended up working our way down to the midline. Saw a nice bounce from the midline. So Ethereum maybe just is lagging behind what Bitcoin did with its pitchfork. And if we do come down to this pitchfork, golden pocket around 1955 to 1907, we could look for a potential long in this area to push up, to come all the way up to the top of the pitchfork, or even up to our level of resistance that we've been talking about, that $3,000 level of resistance, which is our macro golden pocket. But I want to show you guys one other thing. So let me go ahead and clean this chart up. Let me get rid of all of this. And if we zoom out onto our daily time frame, let me clean a lot of this up. Turn off our pitchfork real quick. We had been in this ascending. Let me turn off our macro range as well. We had been in this ascending trend since the bear market low, since June of 2022. We've been trending within this channel. And you can see we lost that channel just in this last big dump to the downside that Ethereum had, losing a 3-year long trend. So, from June of 2022 to June of 2025, or almost June of 2025, about a 3-year trend in Ethereum rising to the upside, we lost it to the downside. Now we have not come back up to bearishly backtest that trend yet. So if we do make it on this push up to our golden pocket, which you do know that level, if we take a Fibonacci from the highs to the lows of the cycle and we turn on our golden pocket, you can see that golden pocket is coming in right at the bearish backtest of this multi-year long trend. It is also a naked weekly point of control up there, and pretty much the top of our bearish pitchfork is close by there. So if Ethereum is going to continue, maybe we continue to drop to here, bounce from this golden pocket. If we do come up to bearishly backtest this golden pocket, the 3-year long trend in confluence with the golden pocket, and we do reject from here, Ethereum could continue to form a more bearish corrective, multi-year corrective structure after being in a big 3-year long ascending bullish price action. So that is just something I want to warn about. That $3,100 level is looking pretty important for Ethereum to either reclaim or to reject from. But right now we're dealing more locally with more local price action. I just wanted to show you that on Ethereum. That's about it for Ethereum. Let's move on to Solana. So guys, Solana did bounce from our golden pocket, and I did take a long from this golden pocket. So let me first off get rid of some of this stuff here on the charts. Let's do this. All right, so Ethereum was continuing to grind down in this descending channel. You can see we've been continuing to grind down in this descending channel, and we did come down to our golden pocket of the entire impulsive structure. Let's pull that golden pocket from the lows to the highs. You can see that Solana bounced from our golden pocket, hit into that golden pocket. It was also a small deviation of that descending channel. Actually, you could take this and pull it to this low here, and then you would see it is the bottom of the channel. So bottom of the descending channel, golden pocket, we're seeing a bounce from that area, and we are seeing a nice reaction pushing up above our channel midline. I did long this golden pocket area, and I'm still in that long on Solana. Now, if we are at resistance right now, once again. So it's the anchored VWAP from our impulse lows that we saw, this 45-day impulse to the upside. Oftentimes, after an impulse finishes, you will see a corrective. So we had this big long impulse, and oftentimes after the impulse ends, you will see a corrective move that often corrects down to your golden pocket, making a higher low, and then we could see an explosion in a wave 3, pushing to much higher prices. But we are seeing a good bounce so far. We are seeing a good bounce. We are at local resistance, with it being our anchored VWAP, just like Bitcoin, just like Ethereum. All anchored VWAPs are coming in here. And then if we take a Fibonacci from our lower highs of the channel, from our second pivot of the channel, down to our lows, not that one, excuse me, it's from this lower high here, you can see that we are at that golden pocket in confluence with our anchored VWAP. So this is an area of resistance where we could reject. It is not the most important resistance area on the charts, and I do think that if we look at this golden pocket here from our second pivot of our channel, you can see by the time we work our way up to that area, like say we do see a small pullback from this area, back test this midline, hold the midline, and then work our way up to this golden pocket around 153, you can see it would be in alignment with the top of the channel. And if the trend is going to continue to remain bearish, then we could reject from 153, push back down, back test that midline in confluence with the pitchfork again. That will be something we will look at if we do come up there and we do reject from there. But yeah, 153 is another area of resistance that I'm going to be looking at a possible rejection on Solana. And then, of course, if we do pull a Fibonacci from the highs of the correction to the lows of the correction, you can see this golden pocket coming in here is around the anchored VWAP from the all-time highs on Solana. So we would be breaking out of this channel, this descending channel, we would be breaking out. So say we do something like, small rejection here, reject here, come up, break out, hit into that anchored VWAP, hit into that golden pocket, maybe come a little bit higher and grab this internal liquidity, and then we see a drop here. We could look for potentially a bullish backtest of that channel before continuing to push up to break up to much higher levels on the chart. So let's go ahead and yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at on Solana. Like, we do have our major range here. You can see that we are above the point of control of that major range. Let me go ahead and extend this all the way. Here we go. We're above that point of control. So bouncing from our golden pocket, got above the point of control. Right now we're squeezing in between the point of control of the range and the anchored VWAP from the lows of the impulse. We are going to see a bigger move either to the upside or to the downside soon, because this cannot keep squeezing within here for too long without building up some pressure and seeing a bigger move. And in that case, let's say we do get a harsh rejection, we lose point of control, and we do not hold our channel midline, then we could be looking, let me get rid of this golden pocket now. We did bounce from that golden pocket. We could be looking at a couple areas. So first you would pull your fib from the lows of the impulse to the highs. Let me make that right. And we do have our golden pocket coming in around 133. This could be an area where we do bounce. Also, we can look at the 786 along with it, because you'd be grabbing that internal liquidity. So I actually like the 786 a little bit better. We'd be grabbing the liquidity from yesterday's lows into that 786. That could be an area where you find some support, or you could, if you do reject from this area, lose that point of control, do not hold any of this, you could come down just a little bit lower where we do have the macro value area low of our multi-year long range into our pitchfork band of support, which, we did fall back within this pitchfork. So if we do confirm re-entry back within it again, then we could expect to come down to the pitchfork band. And that would also, depending on time-wise, our channel could be around that area, value area low. So that would be the next level of macro support that I would be looking for a potential swing long opportunity on Solana. Okay, that's it for Solana. Just going over some stuff real quick here. Let's go ahead and go into SUI. Guys, SUI did come down to that spot buy level that I talked about, that macro golden pocket. After seeing our 5-wave impulse to the upside complete, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we were trending sideways in the correction in a descending channel. Now, we were looking for this descending channel to hold, but it didn't. We finally broke it to the downside. And I did say that if that descending channel does not hold, there is no structure in here to keep us from dropping quickly to our golden pocket area. Well, we did. We did break the channel to the downside. You can see we had a small deviation of it, tried to get back within it, failed, and then that's when we saw the waterfall down to our macro golden pocket. Now, that macro golden pocket was pulled from the lows of the impulse to the highs of the impulse, 243. I was looking to not only buy some spot here, but to look for a swing long, and I am long on SUI right now. And SUI is forming a nice little impulsive structure here. We are trying to get back within this descending channel. If we cannot get back within this descending channel, there's a possibility we could reject and come down and make new lows even below the lows from a few days ago. But if we zoom in on SUI, let's go onto the 1-hour chart. It does look like we are forming a nice little impulsive structure here. You can see that we have our wave 1, our wave 2 retraced to the golden pocket, and we pushed up. Unlike Bitcoin that is still in the process of this, SUI pushed up to the 1.618, which is a common wave 3 target. We did reject perfectly from that 1.618, and now we are just grinding sideways and down in this descending channel. And so our targets for our wave 4, so we could be in a potential wave 4 of a smaller impulse to the upside. And our wave 4 targets are going to be at that 382 to the 0.5. Well, you can see our 382 very nicely aligns with an internal liquidity grab of the lows from earlier today. So I would like to see us continue grinding sideways and down until we hit that 382, forming our wave 4 after forming our wave 4 and then seeing one more push up in a wave 5, potentially pushing back up, back into the channel and coming up to our anchored VWAP and our macro golden pocket at 307-ish, 307 to 311. That would be a potential end of this impulse, and then we could see a corrective move, maybe back down to the bottom of the channel, and then continue pushing up to higher levels of resistance on SUI. But yeah, so very, very locally, I'm just going to cover some more local stuff right now. Looking for a bounce around 271.8. And then if we do bounce from that area, I would be looking to come up to about 307 to 311. And then let's see here. Let's grab a fib. Let's go from the last. Let's just measure our 786 from the last big push down. Yeah, that 786 is going to be coming in around 297. I would say that, first off, let's get rid of some of this to make the chart a little bit less confusing. And we can pull a Fibonacci from the highs here, just down to that 382. We'll do a speculative fib pull. Let's look at our wave 5 targets. Okay, so yeah, I would be looking really at that 1.618 to golden pocket up there. So that is about it for SUI, guys. SUI is looking pretty good. If we do reject from this bearish backtest of the channel and we do not bounce between the 0.382 and the 0.5, then this could have been a 3-wave corrective move, what we call an expanded flat, where your C wave pushes up to the 1.618, and then we start to lose this 0.5 level. This could have been our corrective move, and then we could dump down to make new lows. So be aware that you do not really want to lose 265. Okay, on to XRP. XRP is seeing a nice, let's just do this. XRP is seeing a nice bounce from the bottom of our descending channel. You could see that we've been trading in this descending channel. Like most structures, we're trading in the descending channels. A bounce from the bottom of the descending channel. But more importantly, we had let's go to the 8-hour. We have our big range that we've been trading in for about 7 or 8 months now. We're trying to hold the value area low of that range. You guys know this because I was looking for longs down here, and I did take a few longs down there. Got finally stopped out after multiple TPs, all winning trades there. But we lost that value area low, came down to the bottom of our channel, bounced from the bottom of our channel. It was also, I believe, this was our golden pocket. A little bit lower than the golden pocket, but we did come into that golden pocket area. And then saw the bounce. Actually, let's do this. Was that? Yeah. Okay. So because this move up was such an aggressive move up, we do need to make that based off log scale. And so if you look at that fib based off log scale, you can see bounce from the golden pocket from the bottom of the channel. And we've pushed back up with volume. You can see this candle here with volume back up into our volume profile, showing that XRP is still wanting to trade within the fair value between 258 and 207. Very good. Very good for XRP. Now, we do have our local 786 coming in around 224, which is at the top of that channel. If we come in here, we can turn on our naked weekly points of control. We do have a fresh naked weekly point of control right on top of that 786 and right on top of that channel. So that is an area of resistance on the charts where we could see a possible rejection from 224. If we do reject from that area, I would be looking to come back down to that value area low and back test it now that we are back within the range, to back test it to confirm a flip to support, maybe to continue working our way up, finally taking out our dual highs into our naked monthly point of control that we've been looking at taking out for it feels like months now, but it's only been like a couple months, maybe a month and a half. But yes, 224.7, 224.4 is an area of resistance where we could see a potential rejection to create a higher low. If we pull a Fibonacci from the lows up to that 786 or to the top of the channel, I guess our golden pocket's going to be a bit lower than that. But if we do reject from the top of the channel, then we might come back down to the midline. And that midline would be in confluence with that golden pocket. And then we could see the bigger push up. So that is just some scenarios that I'm looking at on XRP. The fact that we did reclaim our macro value area low with a volume imbalance candle to the upside is a bullish sign. And as long as we can kind of stay back within this volume profile, overall XRP is looking pretty bullish here for more upside. Okay, that is it for XRP. Let's go on lastly to Chainlink. So Chainlink, very similar to all these other coins, we've been in a descending channel, came down, hit in, let's see, let me get rid of that for now, hit into the pitchfork bottom and to the bottom of the channel and to our value area low. Let's zoom out to the daily chart. So you can see on the daily chart, we have our big pitchfork, our big bullish pitchfork. We rejected from the top, worked our way all the way down to the bottom. Well, after seeing this 5-wave impulse here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have dropped all the way down to hit the bottom of the pitchfork again, to hit our macro value area low again, and the bottom of the channel, the descending channel. One thing that I don't like about this, though, and one of the guys in Discord pointed this out to me today. You know who you are. Thank you for showing me this. If we do a Fibonacci retrace from the lows of our impulse to the highs of our impulse, and we turn on that 886 level. Let me make that a different color so you guys can see it better. We did hit the 886. Now, we are in a larger downtrend here, all through this, a downtrend. We had our corrective move, and we've been in a downtrend continuing, making lower lows, lower highs, and potentially now lower lows. And if you hit the 886 in a larger downtrend, it does give you a bigger possibility of taking out the lows where that fib was pulled from. So unfortunately, on Chainlink, yes, we are bouncing from macro value area low support and macro pitchfork support, but we might continue to make lower highs and come take the lows around that $10 area. Something to be aware of there. Very more locally, let's zoom in more locally. Let's go to the 2-hour chart. So on the 2-hour chart, you can see just above us at about 14.2, we do have an internal liquidity grab here. So we have an SFP into our macro range point of control and our anchored VWAP. And this anchored VWAP is from the lows of the impulse. This is going to be our next resistance area. And then I believe that is also a golden pocket. Let's see here. Let me make sure this guy is right on. Yeah, golden pocket's just below that. So we do have an area of resistance coming up on the charts. That is going to be that POC golden pocket area there. And then if we do break above the POC, like I do expect some sort of reaction from this macro POC, but say we come up here, we reject here, we bounce from our pitchfork or our channel midline, we could make our way up to the top of the channel where you can see the top of this trend that we've been in for a few weeks now is aligning with the bearish backtest of our macro pitchfork band. So that is around $14.8 to $15, and that 14.8 to 14.9. That would be the next area of resistance that we could be looking at on the charts. Let's go delete that. And then as far as, yeah, our support level goes to the downside, we do have this box of support coming in right now, if we do a Fibonacci pull from the lows of the move from yesterday to the highs, you can see that our golden pocket is coming in right around our value area low of that macro range. And if we reject now I would like to come a little bit higher to hit into this point of control, but let's say we hit into this point of control, you could see that that golden pocket would be in much nicer alignment with the macro value area low. So to see something like this would be nice to come up here, reject here. If we do not hold the midline, let's say we barely lose it, coming down to our golden pocket and to our macro value area low, holding that and continuing to push up, maybe breaking out of this channel, maybe not. We did hit the 886. We have to remember that. That's a little bit of a bearish sign, but that doesn't mean that we can't make a lower high all the way up to, $16, taking the liquidity of these internal highs into the top of the band. But that's about it for Chainlink. Chainlink's seeing a nice bounce. We are holding the bottom of the pitchfork. We are holding our macro value area low. We do have some local resistances, 14.25, 14.9, 14.8. And then, of course, that SFP into like $16, 15.9 to $16. So thank you for tuning in. If you guys got anything out of this video, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Also, we do have a couple sponsors of the channel. BYDFI, they are a VPN-free and KYC-free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. They're offering up to 15% cash back on your initial deposit. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses depending on how much volume you move. And you can get discounts on your trading fees. 17% discounts is the minimum discount you'll get if you use my affiliate link, but you can get up to 70% discounts on trading fees depending on how much you deposit. Second, we do have NAMI. NAMI is a new indicator that I've been using for entry and exit confirmations on trades. Really, really good indicator. Gives you money flow, momentum. It shows you the divs on the chart. They are running a 50% off special for a limited time. Discount code, if you use my affiliate link, Divine50, you can get 50% off. Both the link and the discount code are in the description. And then lastly, we have MEXC. They're offering 10% cash back on your initial deposit and up to $20,000 in futures trading bonuses. Link is in the description for them as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow.